Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it. Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of this program in the newsroom. My name is Abiodun Olalere. United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Leonard, has urged Nigerians to remain united and allow legal process for resolving challenges of the 2023 general elections take its course. Leonard admitted that there are some false shots, or admitted that the electoral process fell short of expectation. We call on INEC to address these challenges ahead of March 11 governorship and House of Assembly elections. Grand Patron of Northern Alliance Committee, NAC, Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, has said despite the ongoing protest against the outcome of the 2023 presidential election and is being challenged in court, the minority will have their way while the majority will have their say, while the majority will have their way at the end of the day. Sorry about that. Our pro-democracy organization, Center for Transparency and Advocacy, has demanded that resident electoral commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in last presidential elections should be investigated for their alleged partisanship and connivance with politicians to sabotage and derail the exercise. Our latest report indicated that the resident electoral commissioner in charge of Sokoto State has been suspended. So these are the issues we are taking a look at on today's edition of this program in the newsroom. You are welcome once again, and the team is set as usual. I have Smollett, Adito Isheshito in the newsroom. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Then the Badi boy is also in the newsroom.
Yeah.
So your father boy is also welcome.
Thank you very much.
How is life at 70?
Well, life at 70, I've not even seen the difference. It's still the same. There are
see.
no gradually.
You will see.
I'll slip into it.
You will see.
And then
You will see. It's a matter of time.
Okay, Larry, father of C, you're also welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Let me start with the Badi boy. The US is saying we should remain united and allow legal process to follow its due course.
Well, I want to agree with the US. Why would I want to agree with the US? Because it does not pay Nigeria or the US to have problems in Nigeria. Whatever it is that we are having right now will pass over. It's like a storm. The calm will come. But when the calm comes and you have destroyed so many things before the calm comes, what do you gain from that? So maybe that's why the US is saying that we must allow the legal process to take its due course. There's no reason for anybody to cause crisis now. But like I always say, violence does not solve problems. It only escalates the problems. So I think the best thing for us is to remain calm. Everybody has the right to go to court if you feel aggrieved about anything. But that does not mean that things should be destroyed or we should go violent over anything. So I think we must let things lie and follow the due process.
Larry, the ambassador is also talking about Nigeria being or remaining or continue to be united, is in spite of this hiccup that we appear to be facing now.
Oh, well, by my own assessment, there was a process, and that process was not seamless. It had issues here and there, and the issues appear to be huge. Be that as it may, the American government telling us to remain united is because of the trend that the whole thing is trying to take. Is wearing the toga of a sectional, clannish issue now, because we are gradually seeing a situation where people are thinking he has ethnic coloration. That's why the divide is that way, and I think I differ on that. It has to do with a whole lot of more things than the ethnicity matter. So their fear largely is because they are looking at it as if some people are thinking some areas are no-go areas that must not be looked into. The result of the election, will have ripples of issues even before the tribunal begins its work. It was INEC against itself. That's the reality of that election. It was INEC against its own rules that were changed in the middle of the game. And you see, if nothing is intended, you begin to wonder why that happened. So to me, America will not frontally tell us anything directly about our issues because it's not within their purview to do so. Because of international relations, because of diplomatic relations, there are things they are not supposed to wade into, and the best they can do is to placate all sides, to remain calm and follow due process that was not followed in some instances, and they expect us to say, okay, just follow due process and go to court and let the court processes guide you. So to me, that's what they are supposed to do anyway, to say, and it is we Nigerians that will now say whether we are comfortable with that decision that we should remain united.
Alamna. Yes, Larry is right. It's a diplomatic statement. A diplomat will never tell you, confront you, especially when he's in your country. A diplomat is not trained to talk that way. He's trained to be a moderationist, and that is what she can do in a circumstance like this. But then, despite that fact, it is true also that a human being must continue to placate. You don't have to take sides, because at the end of the day, if you took sides, you don't have any intervention that you can play, or interventional role you can play. You just have to wait for the people themselves. But any person of good conscience will tell you there is the court process. And there is the electoral process does not end until the courts have stepped in. So, as it were, the process must be allowed to take its course. Because if it doesn't take its course, then you are allowing pandemonium to take over, and it shouldn't be. It is after you have gone to court and you have seen, you can go to court and the court decides in their wisdom, or the other side of it, say, okay, you have won. There are reasons, there are legal reasons to prove. What would you do if you started maiming people, destruction, and what have you? So any person of good conscience must know that disturbances is not the issue, violence is not the issue. You never can tell. The violence can take somebody closer to you, away, and then you keep on regretting it that the day elections were held and I was a candidate, and that was when my brother, my sister, my close friend died. So everybody of good conscience must continue to toe the line of peace, and that you don't owe yourself. The country owes you. The country has set up a body. Allow the process to complete them. As far as I'm concerned, the process has not yet ended. The process will end when maybe a court or whatever decides and the president is sworn in. Okay. The president-elect is sworn in. That's when the process ends.
How do you take this along with this appeal now? Some Nigerians don't have trust in Nigerians judiciary. And when you are aggrieved, they ask you to allow legal process to take its course, and you don't have confidence in this legal process, how do you marry the two?
You see, I'm a little bit confused there. Confused in the sense that if you don't have trust in the legal process, why go the legal way in the process? The moment you're able to go the legal way.
I'm looking at it from Nigerians' point of view,
yeah,
not the candidates.
Okay. Even the Nigerian point of view, Nigerians don't have trust in politicians. They don't have trust in government. They don't have trust in the legal process. What do you have trust in there? Then you don't have trust in Nigeria. And there must be a way that we must have some level of trust in this country. Because if you don't have it, then the country will not stand. Now, as it is, some Nigerians could go the other way. But if you decide to go the other way, they will have to pay for it. I always say that if you just destroy property, they're going to use a tax to pay for this property that you destroy. Why must you destroy properties? Why don't you be calm and go about it how would I put it, the gentleman's way? Because as it is now, it depends on the side it falls on. Whichever side it falls on, if somebody must do, somebody must win. I've not seen a case in Nigeria where a politician will lose and will stick on. So it's about career, I said, do that.
Then you have seen one.
I've seen one. That's Baba for him. I just remember now. All others, anytime you lose, you go to court. Anytime you lose, you go to court. Even when you know that you have lost.
But do you agree that some Nigerians don't believe it?
Most Nigerians don't.
Okay, now if that is the case, is that not an indictment of the judiciary itself?
Now, the judiciary has been indicted for a long time. For a very long time. It has been indicted. It's only the CJN have been saying that we want to reform the judiciary. And I've been trying to do some things to reform the judiciary. Whether he has done that or not now, I don't know.
Or maybe that one will reflect down.
Maybe to the way in this particular case. So all we have to go for is go for what will happen. So they have options. But when you get to the apex and you do not have justice there, or you do not perceive justice, then you put it that way. The justice that you desire, that you feel you deserve, there's nothing you can do anymore. You can't resort to violence. You can't.
Larry, Nigerians don't have interest or don't have trust in politicians. He said it now. I'm sure they don't also trust the police. Now they don't trust the judiciary. Then who should we trust?
They don't even trust the central bank. Everything looks so wrong. I'm happy for one thing that we have the likes of Smollett here. There was a DJ in those days when the song "Everyone is crying out for peace." None is crying out for justice.
Yeah.
Where your justice is not served, you can't have peace. Because it's a piece of the graveyard if you are taking that too. Hello, there was an election. And the Financial Times said the Nigerian judiciary should take a hard look at this particular one. Because they've taken looks that did not look hard enough on cases that has to do with election. In Nigeria, you saw a number 4 become number 1. You get. So all of this, it resonates with the mind of the people that look, we might have to look for another way around this. Because some people have devised methods of saying, look, we have the judiciary in our box, and so the worst we can do is let's hold the election by the jugular. And when we do that, we meet in court. So do you want people who know some people go with that kind of a mindset to now want to follow that route? No! You see, it's unfortunate because if the whole thing has scattered, remember Fela's son, he said it's Babala nonsense. You are giving results that people are looking. Unfortunately, technology has gone so far that dancing around issues like, let me tell you, when we say the American government is being diplomatic, it is not that they don't have facts about what happened at our election. If the Nigerian government of Buhari says, okay, it's like everybody is hiding everything from me, please, what do you know? Ask the international. They will show you. They will give you the satellite image of what happened entirely in Nigeria. But it's not within their purview to go and start giving you what you have not asked for.
No, they didn't do that for our Boko Haram in the...
But it's not as if they don't know. Do you get it? They get into, in America, before there is an action, you discover they just cordon off a premises and they arrest the people there. They're probably planning a bomb attack somewhere. They get intel. But you can't get into another country's issues and start bringing it to fore if it does not affect you. The best you can tell their citizens is that for now, don't go to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states in this country if you must go there. But we advise you against even going to the entire space. That is what we are talking about. That the respect of Nigeria in the Committee of Nations depends largely on what our administration and the agencies working with it do. This issue of INEC now is not one that encourages people to say, so it means some people have made INEC dance to the issue of let's just go to court, just let's do what we want to do. It's unfortunate because the will of majority, when it is not met, because it suits us as beneficiaries of it, then we think we should just allow things to slide. At some point, there gets to a breaking point in the lives of men that you begin to wonder, look, I can't take it no more. Peace comes when justice is served.
Now, the ambassador admitted that the exercise fell short of expectation. Being fell short of expectation does not mean it is totally wrong. And is calling on INEC to address these challenges in the
future elections,
in the governorship. Do you see INEC being able to actually correct?
Yes, it is. If it wants to redeem its credibility ratings, it has to do it, and it can do it. But even then, what is the proof? Let people go to find out. Let them gather their information, the evidence. You see, Nigerians, we tend to lambast the judiciary every now and then. I may not be holding brief for the judiciary, but the court serves you what you requested for, what you ask for. Yes, it might look, Larry gave an example, number 4 becomes number 1. Yes, to the layman, that is a travesty of justice. But what did the man who went to court, what did he ask for? Good. That is what the justices would defend and say, this is what we asked for. We have a tendency to believe that so long as the party or the candidate I support didn't win, it means it has been rigged. That mentality is very wrong. And it is high time Nigerians came to the realization that the way I see you seated is not the way somebody who sits behind you will see you.
On the face value, do you agree that the exercise or the processes
yes. Why? I'm not talking about the results. I'm talking about if you said elections should start at 8:30 and by 12 noon the guys are not there, it has fallen short. If you said that
results
will be transmitted and it wasn't transmitted
72 hours after.
Yeah, but then you have to prove to me, you have to give, that is not a very strong point in the sense that anything can go wrong. But the fact that logistics were not moved to the where they should on time has nothing to do with electro. If you tell me, yes, vehicular movement, yeah, but you can rent a vehicle. But in transporting, somebody can decide to hack your system. So many things until evidence is led to prove that INEC deliberately withheld it. I will continue to stand by them in thinking that it could have been a technological hiccup here and there. But the fact that people went, elections where there was what is violence, all those ones, it tells you that the election was not 100% good. The fact that vehicles, I was watching on TV and I saw in Lube Nigerians trooping out, standing there and still voting into the wee hours of the next day. What happened? Lube, which is within the Federal Capital Territory, if it happened that way, then what or whatever it is we call some of these villages, what do you expect to happen there? So to that extent, they didn't do fine. But let the court come in to determine whether the results were manipulated. If the results were manipulated, then it should be cancelled. But then, even then, you have to find out where did they tally, where are manipulations suspected.
And are they also enough to?
Oh yes. So yes, no, enough to declare the winner non-winner. So
So you talk about, sorry,
yeah, it's okay.
You talk about not seeing Nigerian politicians accepting results in good faith. You later now realize that Chibisi Akande accepted. You also remember, no, Goodluck Jonathan too, when he was... He didn't go to court. He didn't challenge them.
But
he gave the PDP a chance.
He would have gone to court.
They almost marred the whole thing. Until Goodluck Jonathan himself was in the arrow point, arrowhead. Keep quiet.
But he's a politician.
He's a politician, yes.
And he did not...
How many of them do you have in Nigeria? How many? But let me tell you one thing. I will say something. When people go to court, like Small said the other time, you go to court, it's what to plead before
the justice
that will determine on. If you think your case is very good and you don't plead very well what you want, then you won't have a good case.
But must we continue to base our judgment on technicalities?
Well, that's part of law. But I think that's part of law.
What about public opinion?
Public opinion sometimes have a case in determination of any suit. If you think if you give a particular verdict now, you could turn the whole nation into a fire board. You could decide to become a rock stand, do what you have to do. But sometimes again, if you take a case to court and the court does not determine the case the way you should determine it, and this is a judgment because of the people, the lawyers will come back again and say that judgment you gave was wrong, based on the fact that they did it before you.
Larry, before you go to Larry, just give me 1 second to make this point. You see, in 1979, when elections were held and Awolowo won 6 states and Shagari won 12, but couldn't get the constitutional provision of 2/3, the Supreme Court sat on it and realized that if they did anything contrary, the nation will burn. And so, how do you say morality? The question of morality came in. Somebody has won 12. He needs just 1 more to get to 13. They needed. Somebody won 6. Between 12 and 6, who is? And he still had, the one who won 12 still had the popular votes. If the man there was a Yoruba man, why wouldn't he say, I want to do favor for my Yoruba?
But why didn't the justices of the Imo experience consider this when they made number 4?
No, I said what you plead. I don't know.
You started on the premise of public opinion.
Yeah.
That if 12, still needed 1.
Yes.
Not, of course, not needed.
And again, not just 12. He had the popular votes.
It was even 12 2/3.
Yeah, we are looking for 12 A nation, a state cannot be said to be. So you correct the nearest whole number. What Imo State, the current governor, requested or asked the Senate to do is different from what the court did in Lagos in 1979. The court saw that this can create wahala. And of course, between the two of them, one had 6, the other had 12. What is the 13? Correct. And he was leading, so the evidence was there.
You want to say something?
You are talking about the 12 trust case that he talked about. The 12 trust case was a case that should not be cited for that particular situation.
Because what about Imo State too?
The Imo State case, you see, like the Amici case in Rivers. Sometimes you have some things in law that me, as an ordinary person, cannot even lay my hands on. But those who are in the legal profession know what they're talking about. Okay. That's why I say what to plead in court in terms of to get.
And that is why people like Larry will not, their perception of the judiciary will not be.
I have said this already. It's not only me. It's not only me. Remember the song I referred to? Justice. Peace will come when you serve justice. And I've said it severally here. We have courts of judgment and courts of justice. The definition is now left to what that court decides to do. Yes, what do people plead in court? Well, we have seen a situation whereby the Supreme Court laid its premise on the technicality that somebody that gave the lead judgment. Lead judgment means 5 of us sat and we are picking you to speak on our behalf. In other words, you are not going to rely on the mindset of the remaining 4. And because the person was absent once, for that reason, on that, those technicalities don't work with people like me. Because that's not justice, sir. You are now relying on the fact that, look, after God, nobody can question us. So what have you turned the human life to? Millions of people went to vote, and the next thing you can use your powers to do, 7A of you, is to turn down that. It's not justice. And we are getting to a point where people will realize that, look, it is not all the time that people take violence to fight a cause. They just resist you. They resist you because you are not bringing anything positive to the table. Well, the Financial Times is not writing from Nigeria, but they are saying the Nigerian judiciary should take a hard look, because they also saw the videos of all these things happening live, and it looks like the umpire stood by and watched everything play out. In how many instances did they call in the police when they were packing their ballot boxes? Has INEC not told us that will not happen?
You see, that's you can.
Another one I want to look at. Deeply. One, beyond the rhetoric of INEC sitting down to tell us, look, even if people carry ballot boxes, it can't affect us. One, because from the polling unit, we have uploaded every result.
Yeah.
Hello, if that had happened, whoever carries boxes carry nonsense.
Okay, we
But they did not allow that to happen.
They are uploaded late.
They are not late. What we are saying is what they were uploading was not what on the result sheet.
Okay.
So they now want people to not go to a court that will use the technicality to knock it off.
We move to the second topic now, and it is related. Still within the same realm. The Grand Patron of Northern Alliance Committee, Alagi Tanko Yakasai, said it is normal for politicians to feel aggrieved and of course to reject the outcome of elections. He referred to 1951, the first election conducted in Nigeria. Though we have said it here that we have seen some other elections where the loser had accepted the outcome of the results. Now, that was said it is still within the same realm. Alamuad, if you are aggrieved, is it not normal for you to display it?
Oh yes, but it doesn't mean you should go bonkers and then be destroying property. But demonstrate it like the PDP did yesterday in Abuja. Yes, you are telling you are not happy with what you have said or done. You go them to their headquarters. Don't destroy anything which they didn't do. Make your case, do your presentation, and the whole of us in Nigeria will know, yes, this situation has not ended. The circumstance we find ourselves, the election, as far as
some people will say that when they have gone to, since they have gone to court, why are they protesting?
No, there's nothing wrong in protesting. The court, you don't know what they sent to the court. It is only lawyers who file the papers. Abtiku cannot do anything there. You cannot do anything there. They are not lawyers. But let Nigerians know that we are not happy. That's okay. The protest is for Nigerians.
The protest is for
Nigerians. I accept it.
Know that this is how we feel.
I tell you, there are so many people who will never know that PDP has gone to court. He doesn't read papers, he doesn't listen to radio, but he sees them
in black.
Yes, they are protesting. It's for Nigerians, and not while the authorities of the party will go to court, the people themselves will march to and Atiku said,
I think even
it is not going to be just one of.
I think marching to INEC is much more than just
filing
a protest. I think what we were doing then was telling us that we don't believe in the judiciary. We have no trust in the judiciary. But you Nigerians must know how we feel about this case.
I would subscribe to that.
And that is why they march. Otherwise, there was no reason, like you said, to march to the INEC office. They march to the INEC office to let Nigerians know that this is the way we feel about this. We don't know what will happen in the course, but for us,
we don't know
this is the way we feel.
Larry, the likes of Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, protesting on the street of Abuja.
It's not new. We've seen the likes of General Muhammadu Buhari protest on the streets of Abuja before he became president.
And even the president-elect too.
So, of course,
Yes.
in times when they felt things were not right. So I don't think anybody should hold that against anyone. However, you see, INEC, in this instance, is the number one culprit according to most of those protesting. One, when somebody said were insinuated that INEC is now colluding with the ruling party to rig the elections because INEC will not upload from polling units. I recall it was in November 2022. The INEC chairman invited international press to his secretariat and told them he was calling that press conference simply because he wanted to disabuse the minds of people that they will not upload from polling units, that they have put everything in place. If you play back that, I'll be very happy because we were talking to the whole world. You called a press conference and said, whoever, he said regard it as fake news, that you are not going to upload from polling units.
Maybe he never considered this.
No, at that time, I will tell you the snap point. At that time, to my mind, INEC showed he wanted to be an unbiased umpire. As a matter of fact, Mr. President himself, as at that time, told people repeatedly, go and vote for whoever you want.
Candidate of your choice.
And you understand? At that time, some days to the election, Mr. President had a one-on-one with one of the candidates. They won for his party. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the president came out. That was the first infraction in this election to show what he voted. Hello?
But when he showed it, are you sure the people in Maiduguri, in Lagos, in Calabar, even in Oshogo, they saw it then?
It was just the ripple effect of whatever, the individual, you see, the world is a global village. Even people in their farms can be reached on phone. This is the body language of our president. That was, you see, the law says certain things in the Electoral Act, that this is how you vote. You go to the cubicle. Sorry, that's one. Then two, over 3 sections in the Electoral Act made reference to uploading from polling unit, uploading from polling unit. And there are video clips indicating that one is either the electoral officer says we have been told not to upload from there, or some will say they did not give us a code to do that. However, all those ones are accepted. But in Rivers, they uploaded senatorial from polling units, they uploaded reps, and they said they were told not to upload presidential from there. So that goes to show that
has that been confirmed?
I know, I said clips, not
okay.
Those who are at the polling units have done those two, and they said, why not do the third one for us? Look, there are citizens watch in the 2023 election, and the world cannot wish that away. I am now saying they didn't expect people to bring their cameras. No, people took their phones and cameras there, and so you cannot just be a judge and jury in your own case.
Okay, and I'm not
against the electoral law.
No,
you see, I've even lost my thought process. There was some point he was trying to make that I wanted to
Citizens Watch.
Maybe when I get back.
Okay. Now, let's look at the point line you just mentioned. Now, people took their phones and you're blaming Muhammad Buhari for displaying this.
That's where
now, if you blame Muhammad Buhari for displaying this, don't you blame people who took their phones to take pictures and things like that? That's how
not to the polling booths. If you see infractions, not to the polling booths. If you see infractions, should you take your
you are not allowed to take your phone into the phone cubicle so that you don't snap your father, but you can use it around the premises. So people around now,
when you take your phone to around the premises, do you now see what anybody else?
Not, they won't see that one. What I'm saying is, the electoral officer says I cannot upload. Okay, show us the result sheet. We'll stop it. A lot of people do that. If I'm reporting it,
they are supposed even to snap the
that was the basic thing. Yes, that was what the basic thing. That's what to do with the
they are also sent to their own situational rooms.
See, why the person raised his ballot paper? It was wrong. I agree.
Yes, I wanted to say that.
What's wrong?
But you don't blame him.
But see, what he was doing was to be transparent. To say, you people have been accusing me of a lot of things.
Are you party people?
I agree with you. That's what I would
party people are accusing him of not being a party man. But I'm not telling you that as citizens we watch a last minute one-on-one closed door meeting between the candidate of his party And at that point, it appeared the body language of the president changed, and INEC did not know what to do. Because if not, all the boasts of Mahmoud Yakub, that thing would be done, and suddenly people got their own.
How do you expect a candidate of the president, some party? No, I'm not saying what the president was right. No, it is wrong. It is against the law. But how do you expect that the president of a country whose party has nominated a candidate and is going to vote, you think he will not vote for him?
No, let us be clear about what I am talking about. It was Mr. President that told us that whoever wants to carry ballot box should know that he might not be coming out of the place alive.
Yes.
It was Mr. President that told us, he has told all we have, but that in a single place where people carry ballot box, and armed forces did that.
So who do you blame? Is it
I'm saying that the body language is, yes, I meant it before, I don't mean it again. But I'm applying it to us. No, but I'm it to us. When I was talking that, you are the one of Nigeria. Why did you do that accident? Is it everywhere that network did not work? How many places did they upload from polling units? Okay. It was deliberate.
Now you are asking me whether I read the president's mind.
Yes.
But what happened? Am I asking that again whether you read the president's mind?
Let me
understand that. Because if I'm in a party and the leader of that party are all standards and my candidate is contested, don't I have the right to have the
Yes, and also show us who is voting.
As a party man, it is even wrong because it's against. But the president was doing something which he will never be able to defend in future if they accused him. It was a momentary decision. Let me defy this law. We are not saying he was against the law of the land and the law of the election, but he wanted to save himself from future embarrassment when people will be saying, oh, okay, look, I don't know how very old you were. People continue up to today to tell us that Obasanjo as sitting head of state then in 1979 voted for Shagari.
We had it.
Of course. People went and took a notice of the polling number and they found it. So this is it. This president wanted, don't call me a bad name like a dog because you want to hand me. Okay, it is not right, but then he needed that at that material time.
Okay, we move to the third topic now, and as I said a while ago, we are still within the same realm. We are still looking at the February 25th, 2023 presidential and national assembly elections. Now, we are having a pro-democracy organization, Center for Transparency and Advocacy, asking or demanding that all those who connived, primarily INEC officials or whoever, connived with politicians to sabotage this last electoral process should be arrested, prosecuted and punished. And just some few minutes ago, before we move into the studio, we authoritatively learned that the President Electoral Commissioner for Sokoto State has been suspended as a result of all these allegations. Now, Larry, this is part of the what you wanted as an individual?
As an individual, part of what I wanted was honest, sincere and transparent election, wherein Nigerians themselves would come out, vote, and those votes will count. The moment the votes did not count, then something went wrong somewhere. You will recall, it was INEC itself as an organization that came to tell Nigerians that of over 9 million new people that registered, youth constitute majority of them. And majority of those people got their cards. So if we are saying we have an average of about 12, 13 million in the record of those who voted, because the first person had 8.
I think it's about 24 million.
That 24 million. Now, look at
within voters who voted or the council.
So if you now look at that, you begin to wonder, those who just registered afresh, are their votes now part of what has been counted? I'm coming. I'm just building a premise for us to understand.
Okay.
This particular instance we are talking about, all eyes were on INEC because they were the ones that promised us that everything will be transparent. But the moment it got to the point of proving the transparency, people lost faith. At the time, people wanted,
and that's what I'm saying now. Those that were said to have been involved in these infractions, and we have seen a
that deciding decision. You see, the quantum of what was done. You see, because to me, there are issues of like 4 guys in some instances. You want somebody to appear to have been okay. Let somebody go for it. Then it will look like we are picking.
I was thinking you will say that will be the end.
No, it was cherry picking. No, it can't be the end. You know why? It cannot be the end because democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And Nigeria is going to define democracy now.
Before we go to Alama, while you are talking about those people who consider the majority, the bulk of people who just registered, are you now saying that? Are you now insinuating that if you know those people who had a came out to vote? I can say that.
I can authoritatively tell you.
No, after you voted, you couldn't have been all over the place.
No.
You see, sorry, excuse me. INEC gave us a figure, 87 point something million who had collected their votes. Their voters previously, thank you. INEC couldn't have said, 30 million voted and give us a figure of 24 million. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Did the boys and girls, did they go to vote? Is that INEC's responsibility to ensure that it is the political parties who must mobilize their people to go and vote?
And Nigerians too.
Yeah, yes. So you cannot. This is the beginning of good things to come. That somebody is suspended.
So it means that the INEC is feeling the pressure.
Oh, why not? Why not?
No.
A country, you must feel the pressure because they themselves must, in all honesty, come to terms with the reality that everything didn't go very well. There is some measure of substantial compliance.
Okay, that's a legal phrase.
Yes.
Measure of substantial compliance.
Yes. But that everything went well. No.
Okay.
I think pressure or no pressure, INEC must be seen to do the right thing. Either put pressure on them or not. If they see somebody has infractions, pick him out and do justice to it. So it doesn't mean that you should have any pressure from anywhere before you do what is right. You should be seen. You should do what is right. You should be seen to do what is right.
Okay. Before coming to you, Larry. Now, this last election, in the eyes of the international community, particularly the media, international media, the London Times, New York Times, and what have you, the comments are not pleasant ones.
Yeah.
Implication.
Yeah. This is Nigeria. Point any election in Nigeria that don't have this kind of infractions. It will happen in Nigeria because that's the way we are.
So these are all form of democracy.
It's not form of democracy. That's the truth. You must correct it.
This same international media will come to praise the government in another 1-2 years time.
If it does well.
So there is no, even the June 12th that is free and fair. There must have been one or two
measures of infractions.
But June 12th and election never witnessed this kind of.
No. And then again, it was
this criticism came even before the results were announced.
So it was only between 2 political parties and 2 candidates in June 12th. You don't compare that in that respect with an election that had 4 strong contenders and 14 others. Don't forget us.
If somebody, a lot of people died because of the digital thing.
No, that was after.
Look, he said something. He said, "I'll give you freedom of speech." What will happen after that speech? I don't know.
was a British.
I'm glad we're in the news. I'm very glad we're in the news.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, what I wanted to ask you is this. INEC boss has threatened to sanction his personnel and adult staff that were involved in any form of infraction. And we have seen that happening now. A resident electoral commissioner has been suspended from Sokoto State. We don't know who will be next.
We follow that.
And then it doesn't indict him yet.
Okay.
So with that, INEC had realized that yes, even everybody is saying that they are it fell short of expectations. So what your position is in line, but from here, where do we go?
Now that's exactly what I want us to know. In clear conscience, what happened on the 25th of February. That's what, as individuals first, we must ask ourselves from the depth of our hearts. Do you understand? Who are the beneficiaries of whatever wrongs by actions or inactions of INEC? Who are the beneficiaries of it? Now, like I was saying in the news, 2020, like 20 years back, I could recall very well that even CNN, as big and as the flagship of news media internationally, takes on eyewitness reports. Do you know? You don't have to be a journalist to say it, because it's eyewitness. It is what we saw. They will tell you they cannot independently speak or judge, but this is eyewitness seen on the ground. This 25th of January in the February election, ballot boxes that those people snatched, it just went to trash it. They didn't even destroy properly, and people were finding it on their farms, and they are seeing the real ballot papers of people who stood 8-9 hours online to back and print. And so you see, all of these things are open to the eyes of the world. Nigerians are saying we want real democracy. We don't want autocracy. We don't want a situation where a few people, oligarchs, will just take control of our lives, and for another 4-8 years, they use it and mess it up the way they like. So, eye of the world is on Nigeria on this one. And the INEC officials that have been sanctioned, I'm sure by the time confounding evidence gets to the INEC chairman himself has said that, yes, some of his workers actually colluded. Hello, now you have uploaded results that has determined
A winner.
a winner. You are now saying, it's messing after that. Well, you might have to go to court and say,
INEC may not challenge those instances where it has discovered that
it's officials colluded.
Yes, INEC may not defend. I mean, that would be the moral thing to do anyway. Don't let me speak for INEC.
So what I'm now saying now, in essence, is that a people, like Paulo Freire says, that it is only the oppressed that can free the oppressors. Because oppressors are the ones benefiting and enjoying the whole thing. And in a new nation, those privileges, if it cannot be assured that it's coming back to them, a certain group, they were calling them cabal, they were calling some others oligarchies. And all of these ones are the forces that a new order wants to work against, because it's affecting the mass of the people.
For someone to have risen or to have been choosing, picked or whatever, to be a resident electoral commissioner, he ought to have maintained to have maintained high level of integrity. Now, when you now see a rec being involved in these shady and unclean alliances with politicians, is that the Nigerian in us?
Well, it's a Nigerian factor. But we are not saying it's good. But then, don't let us crucify him yet. He has already been suspended.
No, I'm not referring to this, but the INEC boss has confirmed that his staff are involved. And he has threatened to discipline them.
We are all, he's a Nigerian, a leader. There is nowhere you can't find Nigerians doing self-interest. Self-interest in the sense that a politician may have seen him and they said, okay, you will see what we can do about it. Such a statement is dangerous. So Nigerians do it. The whole country, it is wrong.
Should all Nigerians continue to do it?
It's wrong, but who do you bring it? Mark you, some of these boys and girls are even ordinary youth corpus.
No, I'm talking
No,
about...
I'm saying... I'm coming. Yes, I agree. Right. Some of these fictitious dealings are also done by younger men.
Yeah, because maybe so we would like to take this along. There are also instances when those who had undergone the training for the were suddenly removed and of course that could not have been done without knowledge of the rec.
Yes.
Now, let's look at this from this point.
It's in Nigeria.
There's no way of seeing the mass construction on the face. You see some people, you see them on the streets, you see them in their place of work, they are excellent. There's some factors will come to play sometimes in one's life that whoever picks you cannot even determine what happened to you. Maybe that's what happened to that wreck. I'm not really the INEC chairman. That's number one. Number two, some of these boys that were picked, they were trained. After training so much, we might discover some things about these boys that are not worth them going to the field. You might drop them.
But it is really like that those that were trained were replaced by party boys. Yes.
Have they proved it? People talk anyhow. You see Nigeria space has a lot of lies flying around.
Do you also prove things in the newsroom?
Oh, sometimes you prove it when you have the fact.
You prove it. You have to prove it.
As a newsman, you must have the facts.
Then where do we get the suspect now? So that we can be able to...
you don't have to get the suspect. Your suspects are your facts.
No, if investigation had revealed that some people, those that were trained, or some of those that were trained, were replaced by...
That's the answer to it. I mean, you could...
I should prove.
You could train somebody...
And then discover that person that you train is not up to standard. And that's some little shady things. Understand? There's no place that you cannot let the person go.
Let's see what
to say that those persons that were replaced were people of questionable character, maybe they are politicians or not. They have not been proved.
Okay, Larry.
Now, I've said it. Like we said the other time, Mandafodio said, conscience is an open window, only truth can heal it. Until we are ready for the truth in Nigeria. Because what happened, okay, look at the situation where a professor was the officer and held some documents, and those people did not go to, there were no polling officers. People reported, we have been here, we did not see any officials, and they returned results for those places. Do you understand? And at the end of the day, they said it was maybe a senator who was part of the ruling party that told them, for those places, nobody is going there. Probably under his purview, and then they brought the results for those. There are so many infractions about allegations. They can say the allegations, but what I'm saying is, one, what proves them? One, they were supposed to have signatures of agents of all political parties and the result sheets for all the political parties. And suddenly some results were uploaded, and political parties were told that elections did not take place in these 19 polling units, and suddenly results were uploaded. And so you begin to wonder, okay, let's see the result sheets we want to use for those places. Because we did not have any result of that.
Those signatures, those whose signatures appear on each of the report sheets, the results sheets, are the ones who the court would invite.
Signatures do not have faces.
No. They have faces.
INEC should know those who...
Could you kindly give me 1 minute? INEC knows it. Because for the first time in our electoral process, parties were not allowed to just select their own agents.
No.
You select and you send their pictures and data to INEC.
You have the voters.
INEC now have some people.
These are some I don't know about that.
But I've heard about that too. That INEC did not give tally. Pass.
If it happened, then those are part of the instruction. But then I think INEC before it did that, you have its reason.
I think for the level extent. We are not there yet.
We are not there yet.
We are not there yet.
That's the basis.
We are not there yet.
We are not there. Okay, I will hope to be there. On that note, we have come to the end of today's edition of this program in the news. What argument you say That is, at times it happens like that in the newsroom. Or most times do I say that. Small left Tito Lamu, thank you for your contribution and your time. And the bad boy, the euphoria is still out there.
It's still out there. Thank God.
Congratulations once again.
Yes, I'm still smiling.
Life begins.
We have more to eat and to drink.
Larry, what else?
Yes,
also thank you.
Happy to be here and thank God for the life of Baba 70.
Papa 70. So in the newsroom, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, between 3:30 and 4:30. My name is Abiodun Lalere. We'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.